Okay, another math video from ALGEBRATesthelper.com. And what I want to do in this video is show you how to do a direct variation problem. So these problems come up in algebra. You'll definitely see them. And oftentimes you'll see them with the direct variation. You'll also see the indirect or inverse variation operations. And then eventually you'll see joint variation problems. But this is just a simple example how to work a direct variation problem. And the steps I'm going to show you here are going to be the same thing with these indirect and joint variation problems. There might be a little bit of a twist, but basically it's the same steps. But before I get going here, here's our little situation that we're going to work with, y equals kx. Okay, so this is a real basic, kind of a standard problem that you're going to see, a common problem. It says y and x vary directly. Okay, when x equals 3, y equals 15. So the question is, what is y when x equals 5? Right, so this is the general structure of these type of problems. But before I get going, I want to just make sure you understand what it means to have two variables vary directly. Okay, so I'm going to use kind of a easy illustration. Hopefully it's easy. So let's say this is a pot, okay, and it has a little lid on it, and then I have it on a stove. All right, so so here's my fire and everything else, and inside, let's say we have water. Okay, so let's talk about two variables here. One, I can have temperature and I can have pressure. Okay, so what happens to the pressure inside this pot? Remember, there's a lid on it. If I increase the temperature, okay, if I increase the temperature, well, if you think about it, the water is going to boil more, so the pressure is going to increase. Okay, and likewise, if I turn down the temperature or shut off the fire, my pressure will decrease. So these variables are kind of moving in the same direction. As temperature goes up, pressure goes up. As temperature goes down, pressure goes down. Now, not every variable, when they relate to one another, will work this way. Sometimes you'll have the opposite. When one goes up, the other one goes down. But we'll talk about that in other problems. But this is the general idea behind direct variation. Okay, so let's get into how to solve these problems. All right, so y and x vary directly. When x equals 3, y equals 15. What is y when x equals 5? So here is the basic formula for direct variation. Y equals kx. And I'm going to focus in on this value right here, k. All right, k is something called a constant of variation. So the very first step, what you have to do is to solve for k. And most of these problems will give you enough information to solve for k. And what we need is y and x. Okay, because if I have y and x, then I can construct an equation to solve for k. But I do have a y and x pair. It's right here. Okay, so you just have to look for that in your problem. So let's go ahead and see how this works. Okay, so y equals kx. All right, but y was 15 when x was 3. So I'm just plugging in these variables, right? So when x was 3, y was 15. So I still don't know k, but it's a real simple equation to solve for k. So it's going to be 15 equals k times 3, or 3 times k. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides of the equation by 3, and I have k is equal to 5. Okay, so that's step one. Okay, you want to use your kind of pair of information here, your x and y pair, to solve for k. So k equals 5. That's the constant of variation. All right, so that's how I do it. And like I said, these problems are generally going to work all the same way. So I'm going to erase this now. And knowing that k equals 5, instead of having the general equation, y equals kx, my new equation is going to be y equals, k now I know is 5, so it's going to be y equals 5x. And this is the equation I need to solve this specific question. So what is y when x is equal to 5? Well, that's really easy, right? So when x is equal to 5, all I have to do is plug in that number right here, and I can know what the value of y is when x is equal to 5. So let's go ahead and do it. Y is going to be equal to 5. Okay, when x is 5, just going to plug it in right there. So y is equal to 25. That's it. Okay, so these problems aren't too difficult. Hopefully this video helps you out. please come on over to our site. Come on over to our site, ALGEBRATestHelper.com. We have tons more free videos and other tutorials, all designed to make math easy to learn. Okay, so good luck, and we hope to see you soon.